All right, I know some people like me to just get straight to the point, so I will get straight to the point. Should you buy it? Yes, you should. This is a great gimbal, works fine, works great. I love it. I love it. I like it a lot. What I did for this review is I have an unboxing, which I'm going to show next, and then I'll kind of give another summary. But for those who just need an answer right now, do I like it? Should I buy it? Yeah. Granted, I haven't compared any other ones. This is my first gimbal, my very first gimbal. But I will say, one of the main things after playing around with it for a week, going shooting in the mountains, had a lot of fun, it was good. There's this clip that goes to your phone, right? Okay, so cool, it goes to your phone. It kind of has some issues with that. It can, like right now, staying on great. I mean, wow, how'd that happen? Anyway, yeah, but other times, I mean, actually I think it's because I took the back cover, cut a hole in it. There are a few issues with this. So as far as the wraparound clip, I mean, it's going to depend on your phone, but part of the problem I had was it covers the buttons and it kind of clamps down and holds the buttons. Now you can still use it just fine. It'll work, but what'll happen is your phone won't go to sleep, or it won't, like, I think sometimes I couldn't even turn it off unless I powered it down until I took this thing off or exited the program. So that kind of sucked, because there's times where you're recording and you just want to stop and move on to a different place, but you don't want to have to like shut everything down or take off the software or whatever. So that part was a problem, because my battery would die. I mean, it was like my phone didn't last very long. My battery kept dying because it would drain it so fast. So that was an issue. And just the fact that sometimes it doesn't make a good grip, because I'm going around the cover now. So yeah, it would fall off, and that's why I wanted the cover on, because when it did fall off, I wanted, oh, my phone is going on now. When it did fall off, I wanted to make sure my phone didn't break. So that's the thing. You can take off your cover, of course, depending on how, mine comes off and all pretty easily. But to do that every time, and when I set it up, sometimes I do take it off, put it in my pocket, do other things, or just record by hand. So the clip thing isn't just a problem probably with this gimbal. I mean, a lot of them, depending on the clamp. Now, remember, the magic of this is you put this around your phone, and then you get to magnetically clip it. So it's very easy to take it on and off. That's kind of the selling point. They come with little metal clips that stick to your phone. Problem is, you're really not supposed to put it on the case, which makes sense. Although maybe would have worked on the case, I didn't even try, although it have a bump that would stick out. Other thing you can do, of course, is just take your case off and put it on, but then again, no case, one drop, no more phone. Spent a lot of money on these things these days, $1,000, $1,500 on some phones, so the idea of not having a case at all was just ludicrous, to name a rapper. But what I did in the end is I decided, why don't I just put it on the case and then just cut a hole, put it on the phone, cut a hole in my case, and then I can stick it on whenever I want and take it off whenever I want. And that actually works fine. I'll just power it up one more time for fun. I think I turned it on the unboxing. So yeah, it works pretty cool. It's funny, it defaults to portrait. It's like, I'm never gonna use portrait. I'm always gonna use landscape mode. Portrait just kills me that people use portrait so much. You're never gonna sell it to the TV or the movie industry. Anyway, yeah, so it's got the rotating, so yeah, I mean, I didn't really find any problems with it. It can take a while to get used to the different controls. One thing that is just so cool is that the single clip for the active mode, where it kind of like starts tracking something, which does a really good. I mean, our cameras do that with autofocus all the time. So, but it's just a really nice feature, is that when you kind of set it to track yourself, you can move around and it'll track. So if you're recording by yourself, great. But even if a friend's recording you, you don't have to worry about that friend just going off and recording like flowers or something like that. It'll actually just keep tracking you. The other thing, I'm going to keep this nice and simple and short, is the included tripod. Just goes on there and screws on. I mean, I think it's your typical 1/4 inch, which is pretty cool. I say it goes on so fast, but I'm not making it look. Probably would have been easier if I hadn't opened it. But anyway, okay. So you can put it down, then set it down, and then say to follow something, and that's pretty cool. Or just follow yourself. That's pretty cool as well. So you can use. One of the problems, not a big problem, but of course it expects you to sign up for their software, which is kind of annoying, or sign up for their service, which is one of the problems. Kind of annoying. You got to sign up for their service, so you really can't use the product completely without doing that. It's a kind of accessory, equipment, tool that you really wouldn't expect you to have to sign. It's like using a hammer. In fact, signing up for a program before you use the hammer. Like, come on, it's a hammer. Come on, it's a gimbal. Shouldn't have to do that. But anyway, they make you do it. And not a big problem. And so far, actually, I haven't gotten any marketing stuff for them. So that's kind of cool that they don't abuse it. What else can I say about this little guy? I really like it. The battery seems to last a long time. I'm really shocked. It takes a long time to charge, a couple hours, but it does last a long time, and I had a great time. Yeah, so what they include, the stand, really cool. I was using a GorillaPod Pro or a Gimbal, gosh, I mean, what is Joby for a while, and I just realized this is actually so much quicker and lighter, and it's very easy and compact to carry around, like the extra tripod. I mean, the gimbal's a gimbal. Bit of weight, but I don't know, it's like, I kind of got used to it. I mean, at first I didn't expect a lot of weight, so once you use it a while, you get used to the weight. The weight's fine. And again, USB-C, that's kind of cool. So as far as this extra clampy clip, I guess I won't use it anymore because I got that hole on the back of my phone. Anyway, just have to live with that. It kind of feels funny for a while, and I didn't do the best of job. I just kind of like use some scissors and stuff. It's actually kind of a hard hole to cut out because you can't see where you're cutting. Or you can ballpark it. Anything else I can say about this thing? Oh yeah, actually a really cool feature. I love it a lot. I was glad. This is one of the selling points that made me buy this thing above the other things, although without it, would I bought it? Maybe, I don't know, but I really like this. This is the time-lapse pan or like movement. So you kind of start at a set point, so you kind of actually move it to a set point, put it on a tripod, of course, and then set a second point, which could just be a pan from right to left, left to right, top to bottom, and then you can actually do, I think, up to four or five kind of checkpoints, and then set it to go. You can set the interval too, which is really cool. So the camera will just like take shots, time-lapse shots as it moves. So great for a sunset or kind of a city scene, going to sleep, which is so much more interesting than just a standard time-lapse where the camera doesn't move. When a camera moves for time-lapse, that just makes it so cool. So I would say that's another awesome selling point. Finally, the last thing I think I really liked about this, I just love all sorts of things about this. The last thing I liked was the actually the DJI story, sort of like it has your clips on the phone, and it can kind of take a bunch of your clips and just make a really quick, like peppy intro of different site types of intros. So that's kind of cool. It's like at first I didn't think I'd ever use it, but then I realized these actually intros are pretty nice. Only problem is, of course, you can't change the titles, so you're kind of stuck with the titles they give you, and some may fit, some may not, but the problem is you keep using the same ones again, and it kind of gets tiring. So it would have been cool if you could do that, but I don't know, otherwise I had some fun making those. How much often will I use it? I don't know, that's kind of a tough one. I think I would use it for like a quick Facebook intro, and then if I'm doing some more serious stuff later, I probably wouldn't use that one just because, again, you can't change the titles or anything like that. But other than that, it's still actually kind of a fun, and it's free. I mean, so use it or don't use it. Or actually you can kind of get some ideas. You can kind of see that whole intro title and see like, oh, I kind of like that effect, and maybe like emulate that effect later. Not copy, emulate. There's a difference. So all in all, a lot of good stuff about this. I was sold from the other videos, and hopefully you are too. Mine just kind of brings up the caveats that you just have to be aware of, that the ring thing and the issues. Well, there are workarounds. I mean, take the case off again, cut a hole in it. I think that's a pretty good solution. Just cut that hole in it, and then I never have to take my cover off my phone. And that's mainly it. The other caveats aren't too big, yeah. Because if you do put the clamp on, again, it's not going to go to sleep, or it might not, or the sound might go up, the sound might go down. A lot of phones have the buttons more in the middle now, so at least volume down is in the middle. So that's a kind of a problem. Anyway, I hope that helps. The OM4. The DJI, and they just make good stuff. So I mean, this is the only DJI product I've owned, but so far this one's pretty cool, and I'm happy with it. So I hope others are too, and I hope that helps. That's it.